Good morning. Good morning. How the devil are you doing this one day? I think I need a new intro. If we're going to do Saturday shows, I think we do need a standalone intro. Very special show for you today. If you've tuned in, you're probably already aware. This is going to be our Voyage to Volvo show. So a couple of weeks ago, myself, Fred, my son, and a bunch of other people went up to Eskilstuna for the latest Volvo Days. Fantastic event. They hope, I don't know if it's every year or every other year, but they put on a fantastic event. More than 100 machines there to see, to view, to play with, to operate. Astonishing, absolutely astonishing. The level of hospitality, the level of openness that we get when we're up at Eskilstuna is second to none. And one of the things regulars of our Breakfast Show will know, I've had a bit of a bee in my bonnet about these things in the past. This notion that I consider myself to be quite fortunate. I get to see some things that a lot of people don't get to see. You know, obviously us press get invited to Eskilstuna. Not many people do. And I do realise that's a real privilege and an honour. So we've decided, much as we did with Bobcat last week, to show you a bit behind the scenes. So rather than trying to, here's a machine, thank you, Volvo, goodbye, we've put together a half-hour film, which I realise is going to take up quite a bit of your Saturday morning, and I apologise for that, but I do think it's worth it. I'm going to say good morning to Samir6211 over on Instagram. I'm going to say good morning to Dan Cullen, to Jim Turner. Yes, I have. There you are. I don't know if you can see that. That's my JCB Hydromax pass. Well spotted, sir. Mercy Johnston's is in our midst. So, yes, we've got it's about 26, 27 minutes, I think, or thereabouts. So, without further ado, I'm going to duck out, mainly because my mouse is about to die. I've got to put some more juice in that. So, I'm going to dredge the film off my hard drive. Excuse me, while I clear my throat. Okay, here we go. I'll see you in half an hour. To Sweden, more specifically Arlanda Airport. Now we're here in Sweden, which obviously is the birthplace of the computer games Minecraft and Candy Crush. Also the home of IKEA and 3/4 of ABBA as well. But we're not here for any of that. We're actually here to see Volvo construction equipment. And just before you ask, yes, the yellow and blue jacket was entirely deliberate. I'm trying to blend in with the locals. We've got quite a long journey, probably about 2 hours in the car now, I would imagine. So stick around, I'll show you some of the scenery along the way. Central of town. Over there in the distance you can see the fountain on the right, the church on the left. You probably just see the spires of the church, but that is the centre of Eskilstuna. If you come round here to the right, one of my favourite parts actually, we'll be going to the Monktail Museum later, but there's the river. I was lucky enough to be here a few years ago and my hotel room looked out to that, had the window open all night and I could hear that water. Absolutely beautiful night's sleep. I've hit the hotel room jackpot again. I'm going to turn the camera around so you can see the view from my window. I've got the river again. Happy days. So just checked into the hotel, and this is a lovely touch. Let me show you. There's a message on the notepad here that says, I don't know if you can read that, "Have a wonderful stay from Elia." Or Eliza, sorry, Eliza. Eliza, I don't know who you are, I'm guessing you're one of the staff at the hotel. That's a lovely touch, thank you very much indeed. We're back from the Monktail Museum. We've had a party, basically, to celebrate Volvo winning the Red Dot Design Award for their A50. It's been a big party. We've had Swedish music. There's been singing and dancing. I wasn't involved in either of those, but fantastic meal, fantastic company. But it's time for an early night. It's a big day tomorrow. By the time we've done the press conference and the demonstration, we've probably got about 3 hours in which to get around all of the exhibits that we're here to see. So early night, early start, off to the proving ground tomorrow. I'll catch you then. Good morning. It's just gone 6 o'clock in the morning here in Eskilstuna. It's a beautiful, beautiful day. Sunlight on the water just behind me and in front of me actually. I'm going to take you for a very quick walk around Eskilstuna before I get some breakfast, because it's then onto the coach. 7:45 the coach pickup today. But I was so keen to show you the town of Eskilstuna, I got up extra early. So I'm going to flip the camera around and I'll take you for a bit of a stroll. Don't know how well you'll be able to see it, but there's a red brick building over in the distance there. Not the one with the tall chimney, but the one with a smaller turret there. That's the hotel where we stayed last night. I'm going to take a very quick stroll. There's a town square here in the centre of Eskilstuna. People are really active in the gym there, putting me to shame. This, I guess, is the equivalent of Eskilstuna High Street. A few shops, there's a gym, a couple of bars here as well. I know there's a very famous statue at the end of this road. I've been here before. I'll take you for a quick walk around that, and I'll show you the square. You can probably make out the statue now. Bit of a throwback to the town's industrial past and industrial present as well, I guess. A couple of blacksmiths hard at work. And then just beyond them we come to the town square. Which has got one real dominating feature, which I'll show you in just a second when we swing around to the left. I don't know if you can see that. I'm sure there's a name for those droplets. But it's not coming to me at the moment. But this is the town square. Kind of dominated by that droplet, and also by what I guess is probably the town hall. Magnificent building though. It's about 6:30 in the morning now. I'm going to head back to the hotel, take you around the lake, the other side this time. But my body's telling me it is time for coffee. Not sure how well the camera will pick it up, but it's still so early that most of the ducks and the geese are still asleep. I'm going to take a walk up and over the footbridge and then a left back towards the hotel. If I remember rightly, there's a route here that takes us past what I think are apartment buildings, literally right on the waterfront. That'd be a fantastic place to live, watching the four seasons pass by out your window over the course of a year. I'll show you in just a second once we've got over the bridge. I mentioned an apartment building just to show you the location. We're looking at the water now. Those are the apartments. What a fantastic view each morning. Very quickly before I head back to the hotel, I have a new friend. And you can see him in the background there. There you go, that is a statue of Johann Munktell. The town and the company owe a lot to this guy. just very quickly. Since I was last here, which maybe 2 years ago, there's been some work done on the Monktel Museum. There is a new area called Monktels, the Volvo Construction Equipment Innovation Centre. That was actually where we had the first part of our presentation last night. All very, very high tech and very smart indeed. Hope you can hear me over the music. We've just been through the press conference. We're now free to roam. So let's go and take a look around this fantastic demonstration area. Okay, we've just been through a brilliant press conference hosted by the President, Melker Jernberg, but it's now time to have a wander around this fantastic demonstration area. And obviously, my first port of call is going to be the demolition area. So this is a new machine from Volvo, which they are billing as the E260 material handler. Okay, so as you'd expect, a material handler, but this one has a bit of a trick up its sleeve. It has an elevating cab, which again is not unusual for a material handler, but this is available for demolition. So picture this as it's just been explained to me by Peter Bauer at Volvo. You have some demolition work, 2-3 stories or thereabouts, and then when that work is over, you take this back to your recycling yard and you carry on with the same machine. To my mind, that's a pretty sound investment. Just had a really interesting chat with the team at Volvo, more specifically the Volvo demolition team. But we're heading over now. I think next stop is going to be the electric solutions. So follow me, I'll take you over there. Obviously Volvo, one of the world pioneers of electric construction equipment and the charging equipment that goes with it. Have a bit of a guided tour. ECR 25 currently on charge, probably. There's another one over there. What they've mocked up here, interestingly, is electric charging stations for cars, for electric cars, being built by electric machines, which kind of makes perfect sense, right? Come over here. is the L25 compact wheel loader, and then even more compact still, they're mowing the lawn, remote control, fully electric. Okay, look, you can argue the toss about electric equipment and electric charging solutions, and I realise this is a very, very unique use case. But the electric charging station just put more power in my mini drone. Thanks, Volvo. There's an area here at the Volvo Days dedicated to the company's offering in the mini excavator range. I've just walked past an EC18, that's an EC37 over to the ECR50. And there's a very smart looking ECR40, all in black on the demo area. And completing the compact excavator range, EW65, this one on wheels. So, according to the team during the press conference, there is actually more than 100 machines on display today. I haven't counted them, I'm going to take their word for it. We're going to go and check out something a little bit larger now. Obviously, given the name, this is Volvo Days, but there's plenty of other companies here as well, including Steel Wrist and SMP. And then over on the demolition area, I've already spotted Rotar. There's a bit of Encon action going on over here. And then kind of completing the lineup is the Rototilt. Because there's so many machines to see, me and Fred have kind of split responsibilities. I've taken care of demolition, not surprisingly. I've also been to the urban construction part, and I've been to the electric department as well, which has left Fred taking care of things like the mining and quarrying and the big trucks. But there's no way I'm not going to see them as well. Let's go and take a look. Well, there we are. That's another Volvo Days in the can. It's been an absolutely awesome experience. The Volvo people, as always, have looked after us incredibly well. The machines are top tier. The food hasn't been bad either. Really just want to say a massive thank you to the entire Volvo team for their help and their hospitality and just their complete freedom that they've given us. They've just, here's a play pit, go and have some fun. 100 machines, just go and have some fun. So Volvo, thank you very much indeed. I look forward to coming back to Eskilstuna very soon. In the meantime, that's us, that's done. Volvo Days 2026 in the can. And there you are. That is Volvo Days 2026 in the can. And they do a fantastic job. I mean, lots of positive comments about the equipment and about the amount of space. The very fact that they've set aside a forest track just to demonstrate and to drive their machines, particularly their rigids and their ADTs, just an astonishing amount of space they've got there. And it never fails to impress. Every time I go back, it's a bit like going back to Caterpillar in Malaga. You arrive, you've been there before, you look at it, you go, wow. If I have one complaint, and this is not a complaint of Volvo, it's a complaint about the way logistics work. By the time you've got there, you've had the evening out, you get up in the morning, you go through the press conference, which is important because they need to tell you lots about the new equipment and about their financial results and everything else. But by the time you've done all of that, you really are condensed for time. I think we ended up with about 6 or 7 hours in which to try to film everything, which is it is a struggle, and there are things that we missed. There's a wheeled excavator that we missed entirely. I thought Fred was doing it. He thought I was doing it. There we are. Jim says, apart from the writing, typing, and presenting, you really do have the best job in the world. Do you know, it's things like that reminds me of that. There was a comment yesterday. I saw Al Grierson commenting. Somebody had filmed a bit of the Volvo Days, and they'd caught the back of his head in a press conference, and he said, I'm not blasé about it yet. I still consider it to be a complete honour to be there. I'm nearly 40 years in, and I'm still the same. The fact that I get to go and do that kind of thing with those kind of people and that type of equipment, Jim, I'm completely aware. I do. Well, it wouldn't be for everyone, but for somebody that's into this kind of stuff, it really is the best job in the world. Well spotted. Yes, that was Fred sitting in the grandstand behind me. Yeah, I told him I was going to fire the drone off to do that final shot. If you want to be out of shot, you might want to tuck yourself away. Didn't tuck himself anywhere near enough, did he? But yeah, well done to Volvo. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and bearing in mind the way that the Volvo Days work, We were there at the same time as some local dealers. I think there were some Danish or Norwegian dealers there as well, and a few customers. I don't know. There was a bus load of press, so 40, 50 press as well. But Volvo would be doing that over the course of about a month. So we were in, done, we were off. By the time we were back home again, another crowd had arrived to do the same thing again, and that would go on for a month. Every couple of days, there'd be a new bunch of people coming in. That's amazing. You and Fred do such a fantastic job. Thank you very much indeed. Yeah, as I say, it's a bit like writing. Okay, when I first started as a journalist, my job was on the news desk, so I basically had to do everything in short form. You know, you've got 100 words to explain everything about this story, which is quite hard. And then I moved over to the features desk, where my 100 words became 1,000 words, and you had a bit more time to tell the story. I feel the same about these videos. You know, for the Breakfast Show, Monday to Friday, I do need 1.5, 2, 3 minute videos to show what we've seen. But to actually be able to sit back and say, okay, we're going to take a bit of time. So we've got 2 more in the can. I'm waiting for a bit more footage to come through, some B-roll footage for the Komatsu, but that's about done. That's going to be about half an hour. And it's basically a trip up to the Atlassian Williams Formula One team headquarters, but to see the PC220 LCI-12. So there's some equipment in there, but there's a look around the museum. If I'd have been doing that for a magazine, I wouldn't have been able to do that. I wouldn't have been able, oh, you know, we saw Ayrton Senna's crash helmet and stuff like that, which we did. Why don't they do a 2-day thing? Well, I mean, I'd love it, but bearing in mind they already dedicate a month to it, they'd have to dedicate 2 months to it. They'd get no work done at all. Chris says, well, Lord Anthony, hope you've got your sun cream for Hillhead. Looks like it'll be warm. Yeah, you know, I'm already planning my wardrobe, and as it stands at the moment, I'm thinking linen shirt with long sleeves. I mean, I'll be wearing trousers anyway. I'll be wearing my Carhartt trousers, and boots and stuff like that. But no, I'm literally planning linen shirt to keep me properly under wraps. Dan saying, not sure the lights are in a great position on the ADT. I know a few operators that they'd be swiped off. Listen, you can't. I know somebody mentioned the steps earlier. I think it was Chris Ford mentioned the steps. I think those steps are an absolute wonder. Yes, you will find an operator that manages to crack them off at some point, but to be honest, it looks like an absolutely great show. It really is. Mick Norton says, an MOD launch of the Volvo 4400 when the military purchased about 200 in 1984. 36mm colour slides were incorrectly inserted and Volvo became Ovlov. I still rib the presenter to this day. Yeah, I'm sure I've told you this story, but when I first learnt to use a computer, we were using the old punch cards. Really, I'm that old. And the task we were given at school, and we did it partly at school and partly at college, was to create an accounting system for a supermarket. Well, the nearest supermarket to where I was doing it was Safeway. I don't even know if Safeway still exists, but it was a Safeway. So we decided we'll base the whole system on Safeway. And we created the whole thing with these punch cards, which is a really, really time-consuming project. At the end of it, we pushed all these cards in and they fed through, and everything that we'd written referred to Safeway as Safwa. We had basically exchanged the Y for an H, Safwa. Yeah, I'm still in touch with the guy that I did that with, a guy called Chris David, and we still laugh about it to this day. We went to all this trouble designing highly advanced accounting systems and couldn't even spell the name of the supermarket right. Actually, how many passes have you got? Wow, that's cool. Shows the effort you two put into it. Yeah. Yes, there are a lot. I'm going to quickly reveal. I'm going to be moving house fairly soon. I won't bore you with the details, but we're going to be moving house. So all of this is going away. It'll be rebirthed somewhere else, probably looking completely different. But all of that probably will end up in the bin. A couple of years worth of collection there, probably end up in the bin because time for a fresh start, I would say. Bring back the epidioscope. What is one of those? I don't know what one of those is. So yes, very, very quickly, before I link you back to your weekends, on Wednesday evening, 7 p.m, we've got another show. Not this kind of thing. We're looking at digital transformation. I've been speaking to a guy who's an absolute expert in AI, and he believes that the demolition industry is ripe for a bit of an AI transition. We've got about an hour show on Wednesday night after I get back from Hillhead. On Saturday next week, all things being equal, assuming the B-roll footage that I've requested comes through, we'll have the Komatsu show, and we've then got the JCB one, which is the Hydromax, and we've then got Hillhead as well. I'm not sure which order I'm going to do those in, but what I can tell you is that Fred has already done his cut of the Hydromax film. Not the full length one. I mean, mine's going to be about half an hour long. His is about 4 minutes or thereabouts. I'm saying this partly as father and proud father and everything else. I actually think this might be the best film he's ever produced, and I'll be showing you that on Monday. Yeah. Dan saying, geez, I wouldn't bin those. Well, we'll see how it goes. I mean, they may go in storage to be resurrected at some point, or maybe I'll just give them to someone. I don't know. They're a nice reminder, but they're kind of done. They're things in the past, and we're focused on the future. Optical projection device, donkeys years ago. Mick, I think that's actually before my time, but I'm going to go and look it up in a moment, see what it looks like. Hand cranked or something like that. I honestly don't know. Right, people, I'm going to let you get back to your weekends. Thank you very much indeed for joining me on a Saturday morning. Thank you for giving up your time. This film, without me talking over it, the film will actually go live on YouTube at noon today. So if you only caught part of it, if you'd like to recap, if you want to go back and have a look, if you want to share it with people, noon today, it will go live on YouTube. Until Monday, when I will be back doing a Monday show, no show Tuesday, because I'll be at Hillhead hanging out with Jim Turner. So yes, Monday for the JCB Hydromax film from Fred. Tuesday, no show. Wednesday, there'll be a show and there'll be an evening show as well. So loads and loads to come. Dan Cullen saying, have a fabulous weekend, guys. I will echo his thoughts and bid you a fond adieu. Have a great day, guys. Thanks for your company.